Welcome everyone to the fifth episode of the Boss Key Podcast. I'm your co-host McQuack306 alongside my other co-host Jesse. Hello, Jesse.
Hey, how's it going? Jesse Fergoso, or also known as Jebby G on most gaming platforms.
JBG. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really good this Labor Day weekend. How are you?
Really good, really good. A lot of gaming news this week. Some huge news that we'll cover on today's topic. And just replaying games that came out years ago. But what are you currently playing right now?
Speaking of games replaying from years ago, I actually jumped back into my Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy.
Oh, nice. What are you playing? The first one or just a random one?
No, I already beat the first. I already beat the first one, and right now I'm on the way to the second one. For some reason, I feel this one is harder. I don't know why. The jumping physics are just completely different on this version of the game. I have no. I make jumps that I swear that I made, but I don't make it, and I'm getting like frustrated. I'm like, oh my god. I'm 14 again. I'm getting frustrated at trying to beat this level again. But oh my goodness, like I played all three of the Crash games in the past, the originals. Never got all the gems though because oh my god, the mission of getting every box and then the secret gems. But this Insane trilogy is actually the best thing that ever came out for Crash Bandicoot in my opinion. These three fully remastered, fully redone like three perfect ways to play this game. This is the way to play it right now. Maybe Crash 3 you can play the original PlayStation version of it if you wanted to because that was the one I liked the most. I used to play that on the PlayStation, but Crash has always been a favorite mascot of mine. Of course, besides Mario and besides Sonic, but Crash was known as the unofficial mascot back then. Remember those Crash Bandicoot commercials back in the day?
Those were some of the best commercials in gaming at all ever, and still to this
Right?
day. Like, what other mascot, what other company talks, all this stuff about the competitor and like kind of like I don't know, eggs them on like to appear or make some type of conversation. Like that the dude in the crash suit. Like he's just like outside of Nintendo headquarters, be like, "Come on, Nintendo,
This
come on!"
megaphone.
Yeah, with the megaphone.
And then like where he's getting stopped at the airport. And he's trying to pass by security at the airport. Dude, he was so memorable because he wasn't the usual Mario or the usual Sonic, like the cutesy protagonist. This is like almost made it like yeah, he was cutesy in the game, but he seemed more realistic because they gave him that life in the commercials.
That attitude.
Yeah, and
That
then
that '90s attitude
of course, dude, that's what we grew up in, the '90s attitude. That's what we do. That's how it was then.
with the
Like
ripped
everything,
jeans.
yeah, ripped jeans, flannel shirt. You have to, and then you needed, and then it was actually cool. It was cool to be you wanted to be the coolest kid ever when you were in the '90s, and you wore anything possible. You played Pogs. Man, I'm really dating myself here when I say that. Played Pogs, and you, and you, but Crash Bandicoot it still is fun. It's a platformer I can jump into anytime. I haven't played the fourth game yet, the one that was called About Damn Time. Uh, no,
A
it's
crack in
About
time,
Time.
right?
A
Or
crack it. No, oh man, I forgot the name of that fourth
I
one,
think
but
you're right. I think it's
yeah, like
like
it's About Time or something like that. I think I'll have to like check it out myself, but that's I think I remember that's the fourth game that came out, but then they forget about all the other games that came out, like if they were like abandoned, like there was a PS2 game, The Wrath of Cortex. It was not that bad. It was not that bad, but people treated it as like it was like the worst game ever.
isn't that officially the fourth one? But they don't even acknowledge that one.
Yeah, it's like the Terminator series. Like, no, this is Dark Fate. This is the actual sequel to T2. Hey, but wait a minute, there's T3 and T Salvation. Excuse me, we don't speak of those movies. Like it's like one of those. It's like we don't speak of those other past Terminator movies. We only know Dark Fate is the true sequel to Judgment Day. Oh, come on, there was other movies. Um,
You were
but
right. It's
yeah,
about time. It's called Crash
yeah,
Bandicoot 4.
it,
It's about time.
it's about time. I added a damn time for some reason. I guess I wanted to add. Oh, there's my '90s edge right there. Damn time. That was my edge right there. But yeah, that's what I've been playing so far, man. How
Those
about you? What have you been playing?
those were good games though. Like the
Hmm.
Crash Bandicoot. I remember playing them on PS1, and they were difficult, but I think they've always been difficult. And I think just because we played them at a young age and we were able to, have that time to constantly play, that we got better and better, as opposed to
Oh,
now we're adults and, it may be the same difficulty, but, we got maybe an hour to play and we keep dying in the game and we're like, oh yeah, this is super hard. How did I do this before? But,
how do you
before we had like 10 hours, 11 hours to play like straight.
how do you read my mind, man? How do you do that? That's literally what I was thinking when I was dying a couple times, and then I would look at the clock like, oh, I just spent like 30 minutes on this one level, and then you're right. We have a little bit more limited time now compared to before. Responsibilities and stuff came in, but as a kid, if you want to spend 10 hours a game, you want to spend 10 hours a game. Like you're fine with that.
Yeah, but right now, speaking of limited time, I'm playing Destiny 2. I got back into the game, and with so little time that I have to
Uh,
actually dive into video games, Destiny 2 for me is a perfect video game to just sit back and relax when I want to, or when I want to like really get invested or involved in something. I still have that Destiny 2, in specific gameplay events like Crucible and Iron Banner. That's usually like when I'm focused, when I need to, play my heart out.
mm,
But
okay,
regular, like just casual play, I'd be playing like the daily or weekly strikes, the story
okay.
missions and stuff like that. Just grinding up the light level. Currently, I'm light level 1322. I believe. I forgot what the cap is. I think it's 1340 or 1350, something like that.
So
But
you're saying like 1,322? Is that what you're saying your light level
yeah,
is?
that's my light
Wow.
level. Um,
Wow. You go really high in that game. That's, I'm no lie. I haven't delved deep into Destiny 2 myself. I delved into Destiny 1 a lot back then. Uh, Destiny 1 was the one I played a lot a while ago, but wow, that light level's really high, man. You can play that game forever, can't you?
yeah, that's what I love about that game is because I wasn't really I haven't been on Destiny for like 100% of the time. I go in and out depending on what they're doing, depending on what Bungie's trying to do or future updates and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
so I was I got into Beyond Light when it released last year, and I played
Okay.
for about a month and a half, a good month and a half, and that was okay. And then I kind of like drifted off. I didn't play that. I was playing other games, Resident Evil, Returnal. All these games were coming out, so
Mm.
that's where my time was going. But Bungie announced, all these updates, the new season, and then the upcoming expansion, which releases next February, which is the Witch King, and it just
Mm.
looks good, man. I don't know how Bungie does it every single time. As soon as I think I'm out, they bring me back in and I have a blast. I'm just getting all these exotic now, all these exotic weapons. I just got a Dead Man's Tail, which took me about 3 hours last night to complete, and it's really good. Gunplay is still there. They have amazing gameplay. It's free to play, so anybody can just dive in, and I think they've made it easier for newcomers to just come in. I think that's the hardest part to any free to play game, especially one as intricate as Destiny 2 in terms of story and gameplay and what to do, what not to do. I think Bungie has really nailed it and continues to nail what is so good about Destiny 2. And I'm just excited. I'm excited for the Witch King. I love their story expansions. My favorite one is the Taken King. So I'm hoping this one is just as good as that, if not better than that. But I remember playing Destiny 1 a lot too. That one I did
Nice.
go back and forth as well, but like I said, I always come back to Destiny, and right now this is where I'm at. I'm back at Destiny 2.
It pulled you back in. You actually sounded just like Al Pacino a second ago from The Godfather 3. When you were saying, well, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. Like it's like you wanted to leave, but then you're back. That's what good game design. That's what good games do. If for the fan base and for the passion, yeah, that's what a good game should be doing. That's how I feel about other first person shooters. Like that's why they always stay on my computer. If it's a really very great designed one, you'll be back. You'll keep flagging it down. You'll still see it, and you're gonna keep doing your bits and pieces. So, question: let's say if I did want to play Destiny 2, I did see that it's free to play.
Yes.
So, let's say if I wanted to play with yourself, um, do I have to get the upgraded versions or the expansions like the Witch Queen and Beyond Light, or can I somehow still meet you if you didn't have the expansions? How does that work? Because I see free to play and then they have like purchasing options, so I'm very confused on that.
So free to play is basically free to play the campaign or whatever they have available at the time, and you're able to play multiplayer, single player missions like the strikes and stuff like that. But where you get the actual meat of the experience is getting the season passes and
Hmm.
basically going through those missions, being able to unlock specific weapons or exotics. That's the the meat and bones of the game. So like you were
Okay.
to join me, and one thing that I love about what Bungie has done with Destiny 2 now, which a lot of companies have been doing, a lot of games have been doing that too for their credit,
Hmm.
is cross save, cross progression, and cross play. These
Right.
three main components make the game even better for anybody because you can be on PC. I know you play on PC more,
Hmm.
so you can be playing Destiny 2 on PC and join my
Hmm.
game on PS5, and we can play together. There's I think there's also the party chat. So if we're in a party, we can do the in-game chat and talk through the headset. So
Awesome.
there's a lot of I guess ease
Hmm.
to play. Like I said, I could be level 1323. You can be
Hmm.
light level 1100,
Hmm.
and we can still play together. We can still play online multiplayer and Gambit, which is the PvP PvE mode, which I actually pretty like.
Hmm.
So it's easier to play with others. That's what I like about this, and I wholeheartedly welcome you to come back to Destiny 2. There's a huge clan that would welcome you, and
Oh, I know. I know who you talking about. I know. And it's always something that was daunting me before because of like all these different options. I might be able to like start off with the free one, but then there's a legendary edition that basically just includes everything in one.
yes,
So, oh wait, hold on, let me see. Oh no, wait, the legendary edition has Beyond Light plus one, and then Forsaken, and then Shadowkeep. Oh, the Witch Queen and Beyond Light are like the newest ones, right?
yeah. The Beyond Light just recently released, and
Oh, okay.
The Witch Queen releases next February.
Oh wow. So Witch Queen's not even out yet. It's a
No,
pre-order.
it's a
Oh,
pre-order. It's not
okay.
even out yet, but with all the updates and everything that they're setting up, I really wanted to dive into the story on this one right before the actual expansion comes out. So this right now, currently, it's a new season, but it's
Mhm.
not the expansion. So the season is still part of the Beyond Light expansion.
Okay. Wow. So dude, that's Bungie and Destiny are still popping off, doing everything. I can't imagine why they would need to release a Destiny 3, but I know at some point they're gonna release a Destiny 3.
I don't want them to. Not at least not yet.
I don't want them to.
At least
I
not
got
yet.
it.
They're
Right.
still telling good stories on Destiny 2, and unlike Destiny 1, There wasn't. I guess I felt like there was that hold from
Mm-hmm.
last gen. On PS3 because Destiny 1 did release on 360 and PS3,
Mm-hmm.
and you can tell that going into the PS4 and Xbox One that there was limitations on what they can do, but with this gen, how everything's been progressing, they can easily put it on still PS4 and just add on top on PS5, all those quality of life, 4K 60 frames, 120 frames per second options, stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm still eating good with Destiny 2. I don't think they need to go any, at least for the next 2-3 years.
Yeah, no, no. If they're releasing expansions barely right now, they're gonna keep rocking this one until they hear the fan cry again for a 3 or something. It's like similar with like Overwatch. They're barely gonna start doing Overwatch 2 recently, but that game's been out for like a little while.
Yeah, and
And right now sequels are just getting harder to pump out because re-releases and expansions, and they're able to add material now without the need of a full like expansion or season. Like back then, Super Nintendo games or earlier games, they had to release a sequel to put new content. There's no way to put new content in a game unless they release a part two.
yeah, like just in other news with what's coming out soon is the next Diablo, not Diablo 2 Resurrected, but isn't there like a Diablo Immortal or something like that coming out? And that's at least I want to say 10 years since the last Diablo 3. So
Yeah,
these
the
games
pro.
these games just
uh,
last, for a long time,
mm,
with just content being pumped. Diablo 3 only had that one expansion, right? The what was it? The Necromancer expansion
yeah,
update.
they added it had one expansion pass, and then it added the necromancer after that with it. So um uh the name escapes me right now for the
Reaper of
expansion.
Souls.
Reaper of Souls, there we go. So the Reaper of Souls was the release of the expansion, and I believe the necromancer came after that.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah,
just that. It was just that update, that main update, and everything else has been seasonal. And
mhm,
people have been completely okay with it for years. And of course, now we do want a new one, but that comes
mhm.
out like 10 years after, So a lot of these games, like I feel Destiny 2 is like at its prime right now. Right now is like at its peak where the story content is actually being delivered a lot better than before. Uh, Combat is still being tweaked, but it's still really good. It's really solid. You play Destiny for like an hour and you'll get it. You'll understand the
Yep.
physics and the gunplay, and each weapon does feel different. It's not just like, oh, that's a scout rifle. Not No, not all scout rifles play the same. Same like
Mhm.
the hand cannons and the snipers and shotguns. They all have that tweak, that gimmick about them that I love.
Oh, the
So
hand cannon is so good.
I love hand
Like,
cannons.
just like the word hot, the just by the word the hand cannon already, that super pistols, like, oh, so good. And then the rifle, it reminded me a lot of early Halo in the time. Of course, it did come from Bungie, so yeah, there's some
Yeah,
early
there's
Halo
there's that
feelings
legacy.
of it. There's the legacy feelings of it, but yeah, it was really, really good. And then the classic one was voiced Peter Dinklage back in the day.
Yeah,
He
Dinklebot.
used to Dinklebot.
It came from
So
the
good.
moon.
That was so good back then. And then I just remember in Destiny 1, the engrams were so horrible. It was so hard to get something good in that game.
The Luke Cave.
Yes, that
For all the
until of
Destiny
course
legacy players, the Luke Cave.
you
Remember
know the
that.
loot cave. You know what you were doing there. It was the only way to get a lot of the best items at least sooner than you expected. It's still a grind, but it was the way to go, and then they nerfed it. And then they changed it. Uh, well, once you find an exploit, they're gonna have to close that loophole right away. Everyone reports it on Twitter or whatever site, and they gotta close it. They gotta close it.
Yeah. Well, going on to new topic, which is the Switch Online rumors that have been percolating as of this week, and I think a little bit of the previous week. Uh, it seems pretty solid that Switch will be adding Game Boy and Game Boy Color to their online service, which has me excited for this. I don't know how excited you are on Game Boy or your history with Game Boy, Jesse.
Uh, I mean, I loved it as a kid, Game Boy, but my one question on this is why no Game Boy Advance? why why no Game Boy Advance yet?
You know, Nintendo does
Um,
baby steps.
I know. So I guess we have to just progress little by little. So um, we do have to progress little by little, Nintendo. So of course, first was NES, and then SNES, which is the one that I believe most people played more often than the NES ones.
Yeah.
Um, but Game Boy games, oof, that is some retro memories there again. My little green Game Boy that I used to have, it was a Game Boy Pocket at the time. I never had the fat gray one. I had I had the green when the Pockets came out, which it still kind of didn't fit in the pocket, but it was better than the old Game Boy. I actually really do like this because there are a couple Game Boy games that I would definitely not mind revisiting again. Game Boy games, the perfect card, but this is pre-phone, pre-everything. This was how you did mobile gaming back then.
And Nintendos were the king, and still are. But
Hmm.
during the 90s, I think Sega had uh, brought their competition, and you had other competitors, but
Hmm.
Game Boy was always supreme. Game Boy was always the one that every kid
It is.
wanted.
It is. The Game Boy was the one that had the longer lasting battery life.
Hmm.
It was all green monochrome screen, of course, until Game Boy Color came out. But the green monochrome screen outsold the Game Gear back then. It was, and even though Game Gear, they were really trying to push for it, colors and has better sound. And I remember for Christmas, I got like a Game Gear with like a ton of accessories. It was something I got like a magnifying glass to look into, to look at it better, and the headphones, the and. It was a big blue one. I got like Lion King on that on Game Gear, but no, Game Boy was where all the games were at, and it just by simply battery life already, it surpasses it because the battery life on the Game Gear sucked. It was terrible.
Yeah,
You were you were draining batteries like none other, and my parents would be like, "Again? Like it's out again?" And
looking
they
at the
did not.
remote control.
And then the parents will wonder why they can't change the channel. Be like, I don't know. I don't know why you can't change the channel. It's like low key, I have my batteries in the Game Gear. Uh, like, but yeah, no, Game Boy was a fantastic console at the time. So I'm excited to play. I'm excited to play the games on online. Get a chance. I never owned a Game Boy Color, so I might get to see some of the color games that I might have missed.
Okay. What was like your favorite games on it?
Ooh,
What do you wish that the online had day one going in?
okay, okay. Online day one. Okay, we already know that. We already know about the classic Pokemon games. I think they're definitely gonna be on there day one. If they're not, I'm gonna be like, what are you doing? Really? You're gonna put like some other like obscure game that maybe like three or four people have heard of, but you're not gonna put Pokemon? You know, people are gonna get Switch Online to play Pokemon.
Yeah.
But that's not the main one. It was one of my favorites, of course, when it came out. Everyone played it in everyone played it back then, but my favorite game on the Game Boy was Super Mario Land 2. Not 1, 2.
Which one was
Which
two?
was 2 was the introduction of Wario. It was the first game to introduce Wario, which was the Mario antithesis character, the Mario evil Mario.
Oh wow.
Wah! He was introduced in that game, and I have had so many hours in that game. I played it at home. I played it whenever my mom took me somewhere. I played it on road trips to Vegas. I did not get road sick while playing the game. Uh, and it's to me, it is still the best handheld Mario game. Levels were short and sweet, and just the level design in that game was awesome. Like there was like a pumpkin theme level, there was like a Mario toy level,
Oh
there was a
yeah.
tree level, and it had like the most interesting power ups. It actually had the bunny ears power up, which you didn't fly, but you can hover down with your flapping your ears.
This was the Super Mario Land 2 six golden coins or something like that, right?
Yes,
Yes, I love this one too.
absolutely.
Yeah, this one's
That
great.
that is absolutely the game. That is exactly what it is. The six golden coins. And I remember this game. You obviously because you can't see colors, they put a feather in your cap to determine if you had the fire flower or not.
Yeah.
That's how they determine if you had the fire power up.
Which was very
Um,
smart design. Like you said,
right?
like they understood, okay, these guys are looking at a green screen. How do we determine like, the different color? Like, yeah, he has the fireball power up, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
that, like you said, simple tweaks to the normal Super Mario gameplay. Like you said, the levels were short. They understood you're playing on the go, portable.
Yep.
Batteries might run out. Let's make the levels pretty short, pretty easy to complete within 3 to 4 minutes type.
Yep. Done. Oh, and the music from that game was it's little tiny monochrome music, but it was still great at that like dun, 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 it was
Yes, I
so,
can hear
when
it.
you remember
Yes.
you can hear
You know,
already.
I don't
Dun,
like
dun.
Mario like I stated, but
Yeah, but
Mario Portable was always
so
fun.
right, it's so good. And then the final boss Wario again, and then the final boss Wario used all your power-ups too. So it literally, well, it wasn't exactly like a Mario because it was a more gigantic Mario. He was a little bit bigger, but it was a bigger Mario, but he used like all the power-ups you did. So it was like a Mario versus Mario showdown.
Yeah.
So yeah, that game is something I will hold on to for all time. So I definitely would want this game on their first day, and it should be on their first day. So it would be a bit. I think it would be not a great idea to not put it. That's a legendary one to me.
That's a good pick. Besides the obvious Pokemon games that I would want, like Pokemon, Yellow and Silver, my favorite ones. I think for me,
Ooh. Actually, low key, I hope they do put silver or gold on there because then I'll get to play it on an
there you
online
go.
service. That would be good. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there, but I just the moment you said gold and silver, I was like, damn, that's a good
Yes.
idea. Good idea. Put those on there.
Um, Mine would be the Zelda games. I want to see Oracle of Ages and Seasons on Game Boy, on the Game Boy Color service. I don't. You said you never had a Game Boy Color, and these were Game Boy
Yeah, I
Colors.
didn't.
And
Hmm.
I remember my uncle who introduced me to gaming. This was one of my birthday presents. He got me Oracle of Seasons, and it was a blast, man. That game, uh, what they did on the little tiny handheld running on
Hmm.
two, AA batteries, it was amazing. It's Zelda on the go. It was just so mind blowing for me at the time as a kid. Being able to had I mean they had a Link's Awakening, which I think is the
Hmm.
better Game Boy or handheld Zelda game.
It's
But
considered the best one, I think. I think, but I
yeah,
said considered. Yeah, yeah.
but this one was really good, and being able to change the seasons in order to alter the landscape of the level, and using puzzles for that. Sometimes there was like a lake, but you didn't have like the Zora flippers to get across from it. So you just change it to winter, and it becomes an ice, covered lake, and you just glide through it to
Oh.
get a heart piece. Stuff like that. There's a tree in your way, so you go from spring to winter where there's just a stump, and now you can get across. Stuff like that was really good.
Oh.
Was, I think, very intuitive on understanding the hardware, understanding basically level design and how to change it with just a gimmick. It was a gimmick to change the seasons, but it was a really good one. And that was on seasons, but on ages, it was, going back and forth through time. So you plant a tree in the past, and then you go into the future, and the tree's, full blown, and it's now a dungeon or something. That type
Did
of
these
stuff.
games did these games come out before or after Ocarina of Time?
They came out after. I want to say they
Oh,
came out
okay.
like in 2000.
Oh, okay.
I'm double checking right now, but I feel like they were 2000, 2001. Checking 2001.
Okay, because I was gonna say if they took time travel from that, or was this the first one to introduce time travel? But no, Ocarina of Time came out first before this,
Yeah.
so they already had time travel. Nice. Okay,
So this
okay.
was already, yeah, well established. Ocarina of Time was already out, but I love these games, and if you played both of them, let's say you completed Oracle of Seasons, they gave you a password at the end that you can transfer or input onto Oracle of Ages, and it continues on. You get like special items for transferring your save. Uh, but you also get an alternative ending, which is also the true ending because you've already completed seasons or ages, and you go on to the next game. So it was really like almost three games in one because you beat the bosses of each one, but then there's like a final boss type. So I really hope these Zelda games come through and the Switch just becomes a bigger Zelda machine as it already is.
Right. And I hope A Link to the Past. They should put the Game Boy Color version of Link to the Past because I know that one came out in two versions. They came out with the original one and then the color one that has the special like color dungeon. It has a specific dungeon just for that game.
A Link's Awakening.
Link's Awakening, yeah.
Okay.
They came out so I think that was called Link's Awakening DX, like deluxe.
Yeah.
So that's the one I'll be hoping to get. And then Zelda Machine again, and they could bring back an older Castlevania game, which it was not considered great, but they still added many collections. It's like Castlevania Adventure,
Mm.
so that might be coming on. Um, they need to put Tetris. Do not put Tetris.
That's a given. It has to be.
It you would think that, but watch. I bet you they ain't gonna put it. They're gonna be like, no, buy Tetris Effect or something like that. They're not gonna put the OG Tetris. I watch, but I hope they do. That would be fun to hear the old music again. That'd be great. That would be a great one.
One that I highly doubt that they'll put is Metal Gear, though. But that's my hope.
The Game Boy Metal Gear.
Yeah, there's a Game Boy Metal Gear. Metal Gear
Did
Solid.
you did you play that?
No, I never got to. I never got to
I
play
don't.
Metal Gear on the Game Boy, and I didn't know about this until I was an adult, and I saw the prices, and I'm like, man,
Nope. Nope.
why?
Game Game Boy Metal Gear. And then they did the same thing with Resident Evil. There was they never released it, but they tried to release Resident Evil on the Game Boy, and I'm like,
Gaiden, right?
ah, I think so, yeah.
I think it was called
Like in
Resident Evil
original,
Gaiden.
was it called Resident Evil Gaiden?
I
They
think
they
so.
tried to make a full fledged Resident Evil game on the Game Boy. I was like, no, no. There's only two buttons. There's two buttons and a start and a select button. That's it. I just don't know how it would work, but hey, if they were trying anything, they're gonna try anything, man. I believe that.
Well, that's what we're excited for on Game Boy front, and
Nice. Game
I
Boy Advance, hurry up, you're next.
that'll be
Just
2025.
oh man, it's like three
And
more
you know
years.
that it's gonna be like 3, 4 years down the line because they still have to get through the N64 and GameCube.
Dude, N64. Oh, now that would be a godsend right there if they release an online version of that. Over. Take my $20 a year.
It's
Like
super
I'm
cheap. It's only
right
20
now.
bucks.
Take my $20 a year for for oh my goodness, N64. Now that one, I'm gonna like call you on the phone and yell at you when they do that. That's what I'm gonna do when N64 gets released on the Switch. Now that would be not just the Mario games. I want to see some Jet Force Gemini. I want to see some Perfect
Yes.
Dark, and I want to see some Banjo Kazooie, and I want to see some. I want to see Blast Corps. Oh wow, and wow, N64 will make my brain explode with nostalgia if that comes out on online service. That will be the day when hell freezes over or something because I don't know when Nintendo's gonna do that. Dude, just do it. Well, actually, they first need to release a Nintendo 64 Classic, which I will be first in line for.
I'll be second then.
Yes, I will. I'm getting an N64 Classic because now you hitting my childhood. There you go. Like now you're hitting some of the best gaming memories of my life right there. Let's go.
Well, yeah, the Game Boy is supposed to be released in September, so
For sure.
hopefully we hear something this month about it, and the rumors are true, and they do launch with more than like 10 games, because I'm pretty sure we'll get like
Oh yeah.
one or two good games, and then the rest will be games that you've never heard of, like Tennis 98 or something, or something like that.
Something that no one has heard of. Be like, oh yes, we thought this game would be great to add. And be like, how many copies of this game did we sold? We didn't sell any. Oh, right. But it's a good game though, right? And they'll put it.
Better not get Solitaire Color.
Oh man, this solitaire color.
Nintendo will hype it still.
Oh, of course, they're gonna put it in the trailer. Like if it's a game you're supposed to play all your life, they're gonna put like dramatic music on the back, and it's like something that was never ever sold, like that's sold to the potential that it could have, but you want it, but you do want it, and then they nestle in a couple of old games that no one's heard of, and then they nestle in that one good game, like that one that everyone's gonna be on.
Yeah,
That's a usual strategy
that's
because like
usually Nintendo. Yeah,
yeah, whenever they did the Mario games, excuse me, the Donkey Kong Country games, which I was really happy for when they finally released them on Switch Online. They always put like two other games that no one heard of, and then bam, Donkey Kong. Like that was the piece de resistance. Like you're not gonna get like when these games eventually come out on Super Nintendo. I'm predicting if they're gonna come out. Like let's say Chrono Trigger, Mario RPG,
Chrono Trigger.
Secret of Mana. Like when these games come out, they're each gonna come out differently. They're not gonna do all three of those at once
Yeah, no.
because they know everyone wants those. So it's gonna be like dud, 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 Earthbound.
Especially all those that you mentioned were Square Enix games.
Oh, you're right. So, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes with Nintendo because they do know people want those games. They do. They do.
Well, unlike Nintendo, that they know what we want, but they don't provide. They don't give us what we want. They just do whatever they want, which is perfectly fine because I guess it's worked in their favor. But
True.
in recent news, Sony actually reversed the decision and listened to fan outcry this past week.
What did they
On
do? Let me know.
I believe it was Thursday or Friday, they announced that Horizon Forbidden West, the new PS5, PS4 game coming out, would
Mhm.
not have a free next gen upgrade as they promised. They were going to charge customers. You either had to pay for the $80 version to get both PS4 and PS5, or you would have to pay for them separately if, let's say, later down the line you did purchase a PS5, because it is difficult to get one still today. They sold over 10 million PS5 units, but We've heard reports. We've seen it. We've seen it online. A lot of people have been there where they're trying to get a PS5. They get on queue and sells out within seconds. And a lot of
Yeah.
people still can't get a PS5 even if they wanted one. And for them to have promised a while back, hey, we know that everybody's gonna get a PS5 when they can, and everybody will get it, at different times. These games will be free. At first, they considered only launch games, so they only mentioned, Miles Morales, Sackboy, and Horizon as launch titles
Right.
that will get them for free, and then later on, you would have to pay. They didn't consider Horizon a launch title anymore because it's already been a year, so they still should have kept that promise of Horizon being free. And so, of course, the internet did what the internet does best and yell. They yelled, and everybody from PlayStation fans to Xbox fans, even Nintendo fans that I saw on PC
Yeah.
players said, "Hey, you know what? This
Hmm.
is kind of messed up. You guys said free, and we expected it to be free. Even like for me, I'm not gonna get the PS4 version. It's $10 cheaper, but I like uniformity in my library,
No.
and I'm gonna get the physical PS5 copy also because I,
Right.
I, I pre-ordered the special edition one, which comes with the steelbook. But for those that don't have a PS5 yet but loves Horizon Zero Dawn, why not give them the option for free that kept it? So they listened, and Horizon Forbidden West will have a free upgrade, which is
Okay.
really good for anybody who's still on PS4 or who was
That's
never
good.
who wasn't planning on getting a PS5 anytime soon. So that's there. And they also
Mm,
announced Horizon Forbidden West will be coming out next year in February. It got delayed from 2021 to February, which is good.
2022.
They really don't release games in the holidays. So February is a good game, a good month to be there alone. Not so many games come out between that time. So good on the community to speak out. You have any opinions or thoughts on this, Jesse?
Yeah, it's actually in regards to the PS5s and how hard it is to get one. I remember getting an email recently about getting a PS5. PlayStation sent me, it looked like a personalized email saying, "Hey, we want to give you a chance to get you a PS5 and we're going to put you on a queue." And it was like, "Oh, okay, great. Like, call at this time." And people were trying to get on queue for it. I was at work, so I couldn't get on queue for it because I can just look at it while in the middle of work, but it was getting on queue, and a lot of people were getting really disappointed from it because like Sony sent out this message, and the thing that I didn't like that I thought was shady was that they didn't take you off the queue once the console sold out. So you could wait for minutes or hours, and then you can make it to your place in line, and you're like, yes, I'm gonna buy one. And then it said, and then the queue just tells you, oh, it's sold out. So why in the world did you have me wait in line for something that's not even there? Why couldn't it just kick you out when it's sold out? If it's sold out, kick me out. I don't care. Like that's fine. Like if it's sold out, it's sold out. The bots swooped it up, or people got it before me. Um. So what it sounds like from what you're saying is they're trying to PlayStation 5s are gold right now. Like it's
Yeah.
hard. I don't have one yet, and it's something that I would consider getting, but my God, I have to dedicate like a whole day to try to get one, it looks like, or even an Xbox Series X. And I understand chip shortages and COVID and a lot of things happened this year compared to other like gaming years, but it shouldn't be like a gold mine to try to find a dang console. Like that's at least in my opinion, and it's just a lot of different factors that are affecting with getting a new console. But so it sounds like from the recent, because I didn't know about the Horizon news until recently when you were mentioning it before, but it was also like on news where people were getting outcry and yeah, that's a shady move with you're not going to get a free upgrade or something when you promise something. When you put something to your word on it, you better damn put your word on what you mean. Because companies, there's Twitter and there's Facebook and there's companies and there's social media. and people are gonna outcry the heck out of it. So I'm glad that they retracted. People's voices are known to be heard. People's voices made it happen where it was better for everyone to finally get that update that is needed. So kudos to the people for voicing their opinions.
Yeah,
Um,
I give more props to the people than Sony themselves. Sony wouldn't have done
yeah,
it
no.
themselves. This is a complete win for the gaming community that came up, just like you know earlier this year when Xbox said, "Hey, you know what? A year of Xbox Live Gold will be $120." Uh,
Oh,
and
oh
yeah,
man,
the
that
community
was that was
stepped
a
up.
that was a hard that hit me in the heart right there when they said that. I was like, oh man, dude, that's a lot.
Yeah, and the community stepped up on every front and said, "Nah, this is whack. Get it off, get it
Mm,
off." And to Microsoft's credit, they were a lot faster. They did it within hours, within the same day they did. But
mm.
good on the community for still speaking out against something stupid that a multi-million dollar company does and tries to get away with.
Hey, I mean, hey, they can try it all they want, but just be ready for consequences if you're gonna try something. Like they didn't even do a modest increase. They just doubled. They just straight doubled it. I was like, whoa, like you just got me from you just made me just jump to Everest right now with your double pricing. That's a lot. Like if you would have said, okay, we're gonna increase it to $70 a month or something because it was 60, and then okay, guys, because of the I don't know whatever situation, we're gonna increase it to
Whatever corporate
65 or
reason it
70.
was.
Yeah, whatever corporate reason they got or finance reason they got, increase it by like $10, but by double. I wouldn't understand what justifies doubling the price of something that's been working for years and made you so much money for years. And you cannot say it's because of like the pandemic because yeah, the pandemic maybe have kept people like at homes and stuff, but Microsoft, you're making money off of the pandemic. Probably more people signed up for Xbox Live since the pandemic because more people are stuck at home.
Yeah.
So you already making money. Now to double it, yeah. You welch back on that deal, Microsoft, because that was dumb. That was a dumb move right there.
Well, before we leave for this week's podcast, one last bit of note also is that PlayStation is adding. They announced a PlayStation event this week for Thursday. This Thursday coming up, and it's about 45 minutes, I believe. Or no, not 45. I think it's 90 minutes.
I think it was like 90
Like
minutes.
yeah,
Well, it said like 40 minutes. I just had it out here. I think they said like 40 minutes of gameplay. I think.
yeah.
I believe it was. I believe it was like it was 40 minutes. 40 minutes of gameplay. They said it was going to do it.
It's the first one since last year when they showed off, all these amazing games before the PS5 launch. So we've been overdue. PlayStation has been super quiet all year. Besides releasing, games after games after games every month
Mhm.
for the first half, they've been really quiet on the second half. Um,
Mhm.
so what can you expect? What do you think? Or actually, never mind. What do you want to see? What do you want to see? That's more unrealistic. What do you want to see at this event?
Well, we definitely want to see. I want to see, but I think we're both in agreement here that God of War is going to get a release. That's for sure. Like something's going to happen with God of War. That's a flagship right there.
Yeah, we're gonna see
There's
a short snippet gameplay. We're gonna see a
yeah,
reveal of how he looks, or maybe how Atreus looks. Um,
Ragnarok. There you
and
go. That will be the Big Daddy one there. That'll be the one of the biggest ones there. You know what I would find really interesting? I want to see if they come up with anything for Gran Turismo.
oh yeah, that's one
That's
that's probably in the release window. Yeah,
Yeah, that is something. My buddy Russell back then, he used to love the car games all the time. He would have this huge collection of cars in Gran Turismo. He loved that game more for like the car collecting and instead of like the racing as much. The racing was still really good, but it was like that first hyper realistic game back then
yeah.
from Gran Turismo 1, Gran Turismo 2 back in the days. So now. I believe they're on the seventh game, so this will be. I believe it's seven. Quote. If I'm wrong, please quote me. But please, yeah, I believe yes, seven will be the next one. That's coming out. That's going to be the PS5 version. So let us see how that goes. And I think those are two huge key areas that I feel would be great. I'm even looking at the garage features and everything right now for PS5. Wow, this is almost literally going to be like a photograph. Literally, it's going to be a photograph, but it's going to be all graphics, but it's like a photograph into the world right now.
Yeah, I never was into Gran Turismo. I didn't. It's not a series for me since it's trying to be very realistic. It's a driving simulator.
Right.
So I was more into arcade racers. Like
Cruising
the
USA.
Cruising USA, Need for
There you
Speed,
go.
Need for Speed
Nice.
Underground. Those type of games are the ones
Ooh,
that called for me, and I preferred
nice.
playing those over, the most realistic racer ever. But for me,
Right?
God of War is going to be shown in some capacity.
Mm.
It has to be shown. Maybe not a release date, but it's going to be shown, and I feel like they're going to end something very surprising with the show, and I think the surprise gameplay show would be Spider-Man 2. Um,
Ooh.
Now,
Spider-Man 2.
Insomniac has been hard at work on the PS5. I think Insomniac is Sony's best studio right now in terms of quality and output.
Mm-hmm.
They launched with Miles Morales.
Mm-hmm.
They released Spider-Man Remastered on PS5, and then they came
Nice.
out with Ratchet and Clank all within a year. A
Damn.
year of the PS5. So although Ratchet and Clank just came out a few months ago,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there were two teams working, one on Miles Morales and one on Ratchet, and I feel like that team has still been continuing work on Spider-Man 2 in terms of they have maybe something, a snippet of showing what they have or what, a villain or something like that. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, so that's what I want to see. I want to see more. I don't care if it's every other year that we get a Spider-Man. For me, that's golden. Uh, Especially if we get Insomniac type of Spider-Man.
Nice.
But it kind of fits because Horizon Zero Dawn came out in 2017, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the sequel is coming out next year around the same time. So it would have been already 5 years since release. God of War
Perfect.
is in the works. I feel like that's
Mm-hmm.
going to be for me. I think that's going to be a 2023 game.
Yep.
But also, Spider Man came out the same year as the last God of War. So I feel like those games are in tandem with each other. I think these games are like, you know, in the same release window. I think though Spider Man 2 will be next year. That will be their fall big hit. I
Nice.
think that's gonna be for September release, and God of War will be 2023. That's just my prediction. That's what I want to see. Besides a Metal Gear Solid remake, I'm always asking for that. I always want the original to be remade. There's rumors, there's all these weird conspiracies about this Blue Box studio, but for me as a fan, I want Metal Gear, I want Spider Man, and I want God of War. They deliver those three, and I'm golden. I'm set. Of course, I'd be okay with any surprises, anything. Final Fantasy
There you go.
16. Really, really hyped for that.
Maybe. We'll see. Maybe they'll put a snippet in there or something like that, or that might be at the next convention after this one. I believe it's the Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah,
That's another big one there. With they might release Final Fantasy 15 for multiple consoles too. So maybe that one they'll maybe that one they'll release at
you mean
that show
14?
instead of Sony. No, uh, no, Final Fantasy 16. Oh, it's Final Fantasy stayed on PlayStation exclusive recently.
Yeah, Final Fantasy
Oh,
16 is exclusive to PlayStation.
never mind. Sorry about that. Misinformed myself. Sorry. So yes, never mind. Then maybe, then maybe it could. Would we like and didn't they already remake? They already remade Metal Gear Solid 1 with Twin Snakes.
Well, that was in like 2001.
I think they might remake Metal Gear Solid 2.
I don't know.
I think I'm saying because they already did a remake with the other one, so that's just like what I would think if they're gonna remake Metal Gear.
Well, I guess for me, I don't. I've already stated before. I don't like Metal Gear Solid 2, so
I know.
I'm
I know.
biased when it comes to
I
that.
think I just think Metal Gear Solid 2 will be a more likely like remake candidate, or maybe three. You never know. Well, actually, if they're gonna go in order, then it's got to be two first right now. Wow, if they remade Metal Gear 1 again, that would be dang. That'd be pretty nuts. I wish they would remake Resident Evil 1, but put Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil 2 style. You know what I mean?
Oh, like instead of like the fixed camera.
Yeah. Instead of like the fake, because this again falls into the remake category we just said. Like, well, they already do that? Like, I know it came out on the GameCube, which was that game is phenomenal. I still love Resident Evil remake. That's the best way to play Resident Evil in my opinion.
Yeah,
The Resident Evil 1. But man, imagine if they took the Resident Evil 2 treatment, they did that to Resident Evil 1. Like now, like just single mansion, just over the shoulder, everything.
yeah, that would change up the dynamic because they kind of did that with Resident Evil 5 Gold Edition.
Yeah.
I don't know if you played that one.
Oh yeah, the extra this extra mission, right?
Yeah, the I think it was called Nightmare something, but it was in the Spencer Mansion, and it was kind of like the first Resident Evil, but in Resident Evil 5 gameplay mechanic.
See, now I want a whole game like that. Now that would be nice.
But see, you bring up a good point. Resident Evil did get a remake or a
Mm.
remaster. It's more of a remaster
Yeah.
from the GameCube port. I would want that. Even if they say, hey, you know what? We're completely remaking Metal Gear Solid 2, but we're remastering Twin Snakes.
Ooh, okay.
I think that's the best of both worlds. I think that's the best of whatever you
Nice.
want. You want Metal Gear 2. I want Metal Gear 1. Uh, I think that's all I'd want. Just Nintendo give the rights to the porting team, whatever it is. But we need. I just want Metal Gear 1. That's
Oh, imagine wild card, Zone of the Enders. Imagine they announced Zone of the Enders
I
or
love
something in
Zone of the
PlayStation.
Enders.
Dude, imagine
I don't
if we
hear
did.
anyone bring that up. I don't hear
I
anyone
know.
else bring up Zone of the Enders.
Dude, they when you sent me that tweet before, when I saw your tweets before about on Xbox games for gold.
Yeah, that is
Oh
free.
man, yes, right now it is. Oh my god, Zone of the Enders 1 and 2 both were good. Love that game. Like that was a now those that was frantic. Oh, the multiplayer of that game was just amazing. Again, with my buddy Russell and my other friend Jonathan, they were both playing that game versus both. They were the best at it. I remember just watching them in awe playing that game. That was that game. Imagine. I mean, like here, complete wild card. Like it's not even. If I mention if something does get repeated or something, I'm just gonna be like, "Call." but I don't think so. Like it's a long shot.
Yeah, these
But
are these are these are what we want, but not
yeah, this
nothing
is
nothing realistic.
super super long shot on it. But man, Zone of the Enders. Just saying. I'm just
We
sitting
can,
here.
we can dream. We can dream.
We, yes, we can, and that's the beauty of everybody. We can all dream, guys. We can just keep the hope alive. Just maybe Twitter it up or something. Just make it happen. But I believe Zone of the Enders, all of it is a Hideo Kojima title, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so we'll need to get him off of Death Stranding for a bit to to get him to think of Zone of the Enders again.
I I just want that's all I want. Metal Gear, Zone of the Enders is a good pick. Very out there
I
though.
wish.
Very out there.
Yeah,
But
that's super left field. That's like a 1 in 100 million shot, but it's not gonna happen. It most likely will not happen. But if it does,
if
I'm
you
gonna
guys have
tweet you.
if you guys ever heard of Zone of the Enders, it's like uh I don't know how would you explain it? It's like Robotech and Evangelion and Kojima
Mhm.
put together. If you just put those
Yes.
three together, this is kind of what you get.
So if anyone has ever watched the Gundam anime series, it's very similar in regards to it's mech combat.
Yeah,
It's mechanized combat throughout. You're piloting a mech, but it's very fast-paced action. Very, very fast and frantic movements and fast lock-on and zoom in and zoom out really quick action and sword swipes. It's very fast-paced. Like sometimes on on the Gundam shows, some of them are more fast-paced than others, but those are more of like the big long sword strikes, like and like everyone's like butting heads with swords. But in this one, it's like choo 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 choo, like it's going really fast
Jesse, I'm
action
gonna
and
blame you if
locking
I
up.
start playing this again and I stop playing everything else, but Zone of the
Yes,
Enders, because I have my Xbox ready with that game.
it's free. It's free right now. I'm just saying, just get it. I'm telling you, Zone of the Enders was that was when and it's one of those like when you see it on tweet and like a little light gleams in your eye, you remember about that game. You're like,
Yeah.
oh dang, Zone of the Enders. And then sometimes, like if like now after I've kept talking about it right now, if I see it on, if it pops up on sale on Steam, I'm gonna just pick it up. Sometimes it pops up on sale right here. So
I
I'm
only
gonna
played
keep
that game
my
for Metal Gear Solid 2, so I can play the demo.
Oh, no lie. Okay, I will say that is the original reason why that game sold like
Yeah,
hotcakes. If anyone says otherwise, that's a lie. That is an
that's how they
absolute
got me.
lie.
That marketing
Yes.
got me. I'm like, I get to play a demo? No.
Yeah. And it was the tanker. So you get
Yes.
to play some solid Snake action. Wow. Hideo Kojima, that was very, very smart because it ended up making a title that a lot of people will end up loving later. But if it did not have that, if it did not have Metal Gear Solid 2 attached to it, no way. It would have not sold as much as it did. It would have been like you would have to it would have been like you have to hear it from word of mouth of a friend or something. There's no way people would have just been like, "Oh, Zone of the Enders. I've heard of that," when you really haven't. Like when you really have not. You saw it and you're all like, "Metal Gear 2 demo. Yes. Zone of the Enders. What's that?" And then you play it with it.
Well, that's our show, you guys. That's our fifth episode.
Ah, yes. Fifth episode of awesome retro goodness again.
We got Game Boy talk. We got Mario talk.
Yep.
Zelda. We got some Zone of the Enders. What other podcast brings up Zone of the Enders with this much
Uh,
enthusiasm?
yeah, people listening to this, if you can, play Zone of the Enders.
If you
You
have
won't regret.
Xbox, it's free right now. It's free for the month of
Yes.
September. At least
Uh,
for the first 2 weeks, I believe. I don't know if it's for the whole month, but it's under Games with Gold. Um,
Yep, yep.
and you might as well activate it, try it out, play an hour of it, see how you like it. But we swear by it that it's one of the best games of that generation that doesn't get much love. It doesn't get talked
Mhm.
about enough. Uh,
We will get to that in the PS2 episode whenever that comes.
yeah.
we will get to that when PS2 comes in.
So we'll see what comes up this week during PlayStation's event.
Ooh, there we
Hopefully,
go.
all of our crazy imaginations do come to life. But if not, that's why they're crazy imaginations, and we can dream. That's what we want. That's what we want to play. Those are the games. Pretty much bring back the retro stuff
Yep.
and make it playable today, like how Xbox is currently doing it, and how PC's been doing it for years now. Thank you for
Yep.
joining us. If you got all the way through here, we love and your support and any critiques you have of the show. Let us
Let
know
us
in the comment
know.
section what you guys want us to improve on. What game you want to see PlayStation bring back, or any
Yes.
surprises that you want to see on this PlayStation presentation that's happening on
Hmm.
Thursday.
Oh
And
yes.
have a great week. Have a great weekend playing games. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend when you get to listen to this. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Yep, yep. Enjoy everyone's Labor Day weekend. Have fun. Game on. Uh, be with family. Be with friends. Enjoy the time off if you have it. And thank you so much for listening, guys. All absolute feedback is welcome and recommended. What do you guys want to see again from PlayStation? Just like how Josh said, and how you want to see it improve or what should be kept the same. But thank you again if you're listening through the whole way through. Love you guys, and thank you so much for listening.
Later, you guys.
Laters. Peace.